Okay, we've all been there, right? That lightning bolt moment when a brilliant idea just hits you. But the real question is, how do you take that amazing spark and turn it into a business that actually survives and maybe even thrives? Well, today we're going to find out how to put your big idea to the ultimate test.
Oh, that initial rush of excitement. It's just so powerful, isn't it? You can practically see the logo, you're imagining happy customers. But here's the thing, passion alone doesn't pay the bills. The gap between a really cool idea and a successful business is, well, it's a lot wider than most people think. And it is filled with some seriously tough questions.
And this is exactly where we move from that dreamy what if phase to the much more practical, okay, what's next? It's all about finding out if your idea has real legs before you go all in and bet the farm on it. So, how do you actually do that? Well, luckily, there's a tool for it. Think of it as the first, and honestly, the most critical health checkup for your business idea. It's called a feasibility study. Now, the key words here are practical investigation. This isn't about wishful thinking or just hoping for the best. Nope, it's a proactive, evidence-based process. It's designed to give you a totally clear-eyed view of your idea's real potential. And honestly, this is the best way to think about it. I mean, a doctor wouldn't clear you for a marathon without checking your vital signs, right? That would be crazy. A feasibility study does the exact same thing for your business idea. It checks its core health before you even think about starting the race. So, how does this checkup actually work? What are we looking for? Well, it systematically examines 5 key areas. Let's call them the vital signs of your business concept, to see if it's really strong enough to survive out there in the real world. All right, we're going to break down all 5 of these key areas. And to make it super clear, we'll use a simple case study to walk us through it. First up, the market. This is probably the most fundamental question of all. Does anyone actually want what you're selling? You've got to figure out if there's real customer demand and get a super clear picture of your competition. So let's imagine our big idea is a vegan food truck in Dublin. A quick market check would probably show that yes, there's a growing demand for plant-based food. Great, that's a strong pulse. But, and this is a big bite, it would also force you to ask, okay, who else is already out there? Are there other vegan food trucks? What about cafes competing for the same lunch crowd? Okay, next up is the technical check. This is all about the how, the logistics. It's awesome that people want what you're selling, but can you actually make it or deliver it? Do you have the skills, the tech, the equipment to pull it off? Back to our food truck. The technical check might confirm that, yep, a standard van can totally be converted into a mobile kitchen. That's a check. But it also brings up some other huge questions, like, do you know how to cook for a crowd? Do you have the right commercial-grade equipment? This is where the idea starts to get really, really real. All right, vital sign number 3, the financials. Let's talk money. This is the bottom line, folks. Can this idea actually make a profit? You have to look at all your costs, not just startup, but the ongoing ones too, and weigh them against how much money you think you can bring in. So for our food truck, the financial check would mean tallying up the cost of the van, the kitchen conversion, all the ingredients, and yeah, those pesky licenses. And what it would probably reveal is that profitability isn't a sure thing. Not at all. It pretty much hinges entirely on getting a spot with tons of foot traffic. Without that, the numbers just don't add up. Okay, next up is the legal vital sign. And listen, this is a big one. This is an area that trips up so many new entrepreneurs. Every single industry has its own set of rules, regulations, and standards. And trust me, I didn't know is not a defense. For the food truck, this is absolutely critical. You can't just park anywhere you want and start selling food. The study would uncover that you need to comply with really strict food safety regulations and get specific street trading licenses, which, by the way, can be super difficult to get. And finally, we've got the operational vital sign. This is all about the day-to-day reality of running the business. Do you have the people, the systems, the resources in place to make this thing run smoothly, day after day after day? Our food truck needs way more than just a driver. It needs trained staff who can handle food prep and customer service. And this is crucial. It needs a reliable supply chain for fresh ingredients. Because if your produce supplier flakes on you, your entire business is just stalled for the day. No sales, nothing. Okay, so you've gone through all 5 of those vital signs. Why does this whole checkup matter so much? Well, the payoff is huge.
A proper feasibility study gives you 5 big wins. Let's walk through these. First, it cuts down your risk by spotting those fatal flaws early on, like a cupcake shop realizing their pricing is way off before they even open. Second, it sharpens your focus, helping a jewelry maker, say, discover a super profitable eco-friendly niche. It also uncovers practical problems you hadn't thought of, like a coffee shop realizing they need a plan for a lack of parking. And here's a big one. It helps you justify your idea to investors with cold, hard data. And finally, it all comes together to help you make a much, much smarter decision in the end. But a really thorough checkup goes beyond just the financial health. It helps you build a business that isn't just profitable, but one that's also responsible and built to last for the long term. See, a truly healthy business idea today, it's about more than just the basics. It's really built on 4 pillars: being ethical and sustainable, encouraging creative entrepreneurial thinking, really understanding your numbers with financial literacy, and embracing digital tools to stay ahead of the game. And this really is the modern mindset shift. The old way of thinking was simple. Is this profitable? That's it. A good feasibility study pushes you to ask a much better, much bigger question. Is this idea profitable? And is it responsible? Is it sustainable? Does it pay people fairly? This is the kind of thinking that builds a brand people actually love, and that lasts. So, if you take just one thing away from all this, let it be this. A feasibility study is what transforms a hopeful idea into a data-driven decision. It takes your idea out of the clouds of what if and plants it firmly on the ground of reality. Look, every great business starts with that spark, that initial pulse of excitement. But a pulse alone doesn't guarantee a long and healthy life. So, your idea has a pulse. The real question is it ready for its checkup?